Hello guys and welcome to today's video where today I'm talking about Ninjago ninja villains, which is basically instead of the main villains we have obviously the ninja as villains. Not as like Thanos or anything like actually happening in this show. And I have a great theory for the end which is quite debatable, but we'll see when we get there. So first of all, obviously we know we have Little Evil Lloyd. He was the first villain of all the ninja, even though he technically wasn't a ninja until a little later down the line. He was the first to be a villain originally. Then moving on, we have obviously Cole being hypnotized. Debatably, that he is the original villain ninja to be a villain first, but if you guys want to count, of course, Little Evil Lloyd, then you can do so. It's split between the two. You guys can decide which way you want to go by it. Then of course we have Evil Pixel from season 3, and obviously Evil Master Wu. Moving on, we then have obviously Kai from season 4 with the staff. Not as big as some of the others. It's just like, you know, a little freak out scene, but it's something at least. And then of course we have a better version of Lloyd being evil with Moro possessing him. And then we have the Ice Emperor, Zane, being one of the biggest ones of being evil, since he was evil for like the second half of season 11. But then of course our most recent one we have Rogue Jay. Now obviously he's got his memories back and all that jazz now, but you know, it was still him being technically evil and on the bad side. You guys get the gist. So all of the ninja have had an evil side. Now, I know what you guys are wondering. What about Nia? Now, instantly after saying her name, you guys are probably thinking about this scene here back in season 2. She got possessed. What was it? The second to last episode, I think it was. Off the top of my head, it's been a while since I've seen it, and obviously continues on to the final episode. We know that much. However, it's not really... I don't really think it counts. Now, hear me out. If we look at all the others, they were all villains by themselves. But with Nia, she was this for obviously by herself for a while, until we get obviously Cole, Jay, and Zane joining her in that villain thing. You know, they're all technically villains now. And they all look like Nia, but with all the others as villains, with Rogue, with possessed Lloyd, with corrupted Kai. They were all villains, you know, solo. You know, they didn't have anyone else with that form. So that Nia I don't think really counts, as these three have that as well. And we also have obviously the ninja getting arrested back in season 6. Now obviously this repeated in Crystallized, but Nia wasn't arrested then. But again, technically I don't think this counts because they're not really villains. They've just been framed to be because of Nardakan, which is again a huge, you know, debate whether you guys count the ninja and Nia as villains here, or whether you just see them as good guys who've been framed like I do. Now I know what you guys are thinking on the topic of Nardakan. What about this scene? Yeah, we get it. Nia, she's been corrupted. She's basically Dalara. We know that. But if we look back at all the others as villains, we have Little Evil Lloyd. What did he do? I mean, yeah, he stole candy, but he also had an army of Serpentine, which led to the Great Devourer. Cole, he was hypnotized. Yeah, that was pretty basic, but he had his ninja powers and the scythe of Quakes, obviously. I can't remember the list off the top of my head. We have Pixel. She made the Ninjoid army. Master Wu, obviously, he's a master. He's got the skills and he's got the staff. With Kai, obviously, the staff of elements. If he was to go, what would have went more possessed and wild, he could have used all the elements in there. Lloyd possessed by Moro, had the wind, had the dragon, had Ijitsu, and it possessed the Sword of Sanctuary. Then obviously we have Zane, we have his ice powers, his ice army, his staff. We know all that. Jay, Shadow Spin, an arm. He was part of the Wolf Clan, if I remember right. Oh, my memory's terrible, I'm sorry. And obviously he had his lightning powers and everything else, But as for Nia, in this scene, she didn't have anything. She was just standing there laughing menacingly. She wasn't using her water powers or anything. She was just, laughing like a maniac, enjoying everyone being turned to gold. So technically, I think Nia hasn't had a proper villain arc. All these 3 scenes are debatable for Nia, whether you count her being evil here, or here, or even here. Technically, I think all 3 of these count, but having a solo Nia villain arc, is completely different from all the others. And even in her even in her villain forms, she doesn't do much compared to the others. I mean, this one, all she does is swing chain thing. This is before she's even a water ninja. Obviously we have this scene where she doesn't really do much as a criminal. She's just straight vibing in jail. And this one she just laughs like a maniac. So I think having a better Nia villain arc would be a good idea for Ninjago to potentially have in the future. Now maybe they could do it as some kind of possession, some kind of hypnosis or under control or something, but I feel like having Nia as a villain, not like permanently, maybe do something like they did with like with Zane, like temporarily, like a smaller fixture. I mean, all the others were villains like temporarily, but like maybe do something small, like Master Wu's was only like a little bit, but then and Pixels was a little bit, and Cole's. I don't think doing it for a whole season, because we've had that a lot with Lloyd and the Ice Emperor, obviously Jay. So I don't think having Nia being, like a villain for like an entire season would be worth it. But like maybe for like a few episodes would be a decent thing to add into Ninjago, and maybe even do something more with Kai. I mean, he did have a villain arc, but it was only like a little glitch out malfunction, and we don't really see much from Kai else, with him being like evil. And he easily could have had his evil arc being jealous because of Lloyd being the Korean ninja, but he didn't. He stayed loyal, but he's only ever had one small slip up. But, if he did get controlled because of the staff, he could have gone more haywire with it. But it's all debatable what you guys think as well. It's your opinions, but if you guys think Nia should have a bigger villain arc, let me know, because I definitely think she deserves more of a villain arc. Maybe add some of her water powers in there, like seeing her with like some villain water power version of herself would be really cool, and it'd be such a nice change, because our most recent ninja villain was obviously Jay with his memory lost. But instead of doing memory loss on Nia, since we had that with Jay and Zane, I'm thinking that they could do like what they did with Lloyd here and just give her a nice possession or some kind of mind control, manipulation or something. So let me guys know what you think down below, and I shall see you guys very soon. Bye!